Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Virgo February 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, Clairvoyant. Well, I have a great deck for you this month. It's painted by a modern artist, a guy called Luigi Scalapini, something like that. I think he works for US Games, the card company, something like that, or has provided the paintings to them. I have a feeling this could be a mass market deck, but the name of which just totally escapes me. But you'll look at the pictures and just look for some sort of Renaissance type of thing. Because the subject matter of the art is Renaissance, and it has reference to things to do with European history and culture, which makes it actually quite interesting. And the paintings, of course, are all hand-painted, which is good to see, is it not? Now, you will remember, of course, that I provide clairvoyant readings to people from anywhere in the world over FaceTime and Skype, and they go for about an hour and a half. The details of which, if you're curious, are in the description. There's another gift which I have and which I offer for free, and that is the gift of healing. That takes about 45 minutes, and that's done over FaceTime and Skype as well. Now you might say, well, look, if you're doing it for free, what's the catch? Or it can't be any good, or it doesn't work. Well, because the gift was provided to me on the basis that I get nothing in return. Now, see, the thing is, if you say that, look, if you're not charging, it can't be any good, well, it's the complete reverse. If I were to charge, two things. Number one, it wouldn't work. Number two, I would provide terrible damage to my own soul. Because I know that it's bestowed upon me. Why me? I have no idea. It's just one of those things that's been with me since I was, born, I suppose. And I've been doing it for decades, and it's great. And so you might have something which is of an emotional nature. You could be at your wit's end with something. You could be at the end of your tether. You may have some physical issue. There could be problems with your business. It's a very open slate because it's one of the vehicles that the beloved uses to provide compassion and relief. Healing. So check out if it's calling to you, check out the information that's in the description, because lots of people I do people every day from this channel, and very happily so you're not alone. If it's calling out, then make use of it. Now, there are no ads in this, so you get to enjoy the content direct. And show me the magic. And we take 5, the moon. Pisces around there for some reason. 4 of Cups. It's got the moon going with it as well, I think. There's the Popess. Kind of getting a bit of moon around that too. 10 of Coins. Good thing for you. And there's the King of Cups. Right. Why don't I bring the camera around so that you and I can have a good close look at the beautiful hand-painted art on these things together? Well, I do the reading for you. Right, why don't you and I go through these together now? And what am I immediately picking up? Gee, some mysteries, secrets, illusions. You go into yourself. There's something around here making you a little bit sad. I suspect it's to do with a person. Some working on relationships, but great love and enormous success and abundance in your life, notwithstanding these emotional ups and downs which can come from time to time, and that is expressed in particular by this card of the moon. Now, just looking at the picture here, although the moon is the card, the thing that's the most striking in it is this crayfish, which is coming up from out of the water. Now, where do crayfish live? They live on the bottom of bodies of water, don't they? They live deep, deep down. So there must be a significance there. Here there is the ancient Egyptian god Anubis, opposite a wolf, which is howling at the moon. A couple of buildings from the period. On top of this one is an astrologer, and if you look closely there, you might see a telescope, maybe Galileo's telescope. And here is the moon itself, the clouds dropping moisture that's down there. Do you know I have a real association with Pisces here? Pisces is, of course, associated with the subconscious, which is where this thing is pointing, I think. It has an association with the emotions of intuition and with artistry. And I see Neptune here as well. Well, Neptune's watery depths are associated with dreams, with visions and the imagination, which kind of links it in well with the moon, I suppose. There is, in a sense here, an illusion around the burning off of karma. There's the interaction or struggle with things that are in your subconscious, but you overcome them and you come to new levels of consciousness. The other thing which I'm getting around here, I have to say, is a sense of confusion. And this confusion might make you think, oh, I'm going through something of a difficult period here because you lack clarity. Maybe there's some deception going on around you. The moon here is in the process of diving further and deeper into the dark realms of your soul. It is the time of a final and often most difficult testing. Now, the danger here, of course, is forgetting your true goal in the darkness. That can be great. Temptations and mirage-like perceptions or understandings that you might get lurk along the way, ready to lead you down the garden path, so be careful here. But with this area of confusion, this concept of confusion that I'm getting here, you understand that the most confused that you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something that your mind knows is a lie. You could also, I think, here be in a situation where, in relation to a person, you're having very opposite emotions. See, the cycles of the moon change, don't they? And your emotions can change along with the cycles of the moon, such as, I love you, I hate you, I like you, I hate you, I love you, I think that you are stupid, I think you're a loser, no, I think you're wonderful, I want to be with you, I don't want to be with you, I would never date you, I hate you, I love you. And this is a sort of a madness that perhaps you pick up as a result of a meeting with someone, almost in the sense that they have, in a way, transferred a virus to you. But these feelings which jump around from this end to this end, don't be afraid of them, because God turns you from one feeling to another and teaches you by means of opposites so that you will have two wings to fly and not one. And then there is this concept which is coming up, energy of secrets, something being revealed or discovered by you. Now, 3 people may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead, that is, and if you want to keep a secret, you must hide it from yourself. Now, as you go through life, you have probably found, or you will find, that some things are best kept secret, especially from parents. Keep secret your misfortune from parents. And with respect to other people, watch them now. The more they leave out, the more they highlight what it is that they are leaving in. Now, as far as your friends are concerned, I guess a good friend keeps your secrets for you, but a best friend keeps your own secrets from you. But again, this crayfish is speaking to me, and it is saying that as long as you keep secrets and suppress information, you are basically at war with yourself. The big issue is allowing yourself to know what you know. And that does take an enormous amount of courage. So this is suggesting in total for me a time when something in your life is not as it appears to be. That could be a situation or another person that is deceiving. You may as a result feel some degree of sadness in what you uncover about another person. But this can also very often represent your shadow self, the subconscious or the hidden self, where you might be harboring negativity that you have suppressed, or which you may not even be aware of. And now it is time to release this destructive energy. And I have found that very often with people, this relates to repressed feelings that arise in childhood, which have a negative impact on their current situations. But you have heard the call of the unknown, and you are on the threshold of new experience. It's vitally important that you listen to the voice of your own heart and look carefully and calmly at what other people are offering to you. But actually, and I say this with respect, that with relation to confusion itself, confusion is a luxury that can only be enjoyed by the very, very young. And you are not that person anymore, are you? It's time to go on and look at yourself. Now, I'm going down this diagonal because I think it is really going to be quite illuminating to us. This person here is causing you trouble, I think. Now, let's have a look at this Popess. As I said, I think it was a Pope Joan, but that might just be an urban legend. Here she is sitting on her throne. She's holding the Book of Life, this black-coloured column here, I think relates to the female principle and to receptivity, and this flaming bright red column relates to the male principle and action and activity. But most importantly, look at this garden growing and blooming in front of you. I have a real association with the moon here again as well. And as I said just a moment ago, that the moon represents cycles. And going with the flow of life, in a sense, I think you're going to have access to intuitive powers. I think it's a time of great healing. You will find out something, but you will come to terms with it. It's also a time of you making the decision to seek and guard your independence. There's great self-confidence with you now, and in particular, as this was saying, discovering your own truth. And there's an emotional stability here with you as well. Now, this image, let's have a look at it again. This really shows outwardly in her trust in and responsibility to herself. Now, like a camel, which you know can travel long stretches in the desert without water, when you have discovered your own inner spring, you will also radiate a satisfied sense of sufficiency. You will discover this fertile oasis in the innermost reaches of your being. And the more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become. Now, this can also speak of a friendship which you establish, which is not a romantic one, but which is social and which brings you a great degree of joy. And I also think that there could be a period here where, in light of this moon, and I think what's coming up here, that you take some alone time to work out what you really want and to let your mind process things. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you that changes on the inside are necessary to make changes on the outside. There is the need to connect and have more confidence with your intuitive ability. You have great access to your intuitive powers now, so develop them and guard them. Now, a woman or a man, of course these court cards can be of either gender, may be the source of some grief temporarily for you. Well, this looks like a pope from that Renaissance period, and I think the big man in town during that period was it Pope Leo X, I think? Here's the papal tiara there. Now, the top ring, I think, refers to the natural world. The ring in the middle refers to nature, life as we find it, and free will to act or to refrain from acting. And the ring at the bottom, I think it refers to the other realm, spirit. Down here, there's a couple of paintings, 3 of them in fact. I'd say that they were 3 drafts of the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. Over here is the dome of St. Peter's Cathedral, which is in the Vatican City. Over here is a little, well, probably an angel or an altar boy holding this thing up above the Pope's head, covered in seashells. So all is not lost thanks to this angel and the beneficial imagery that's coming around here. I do note, though, that esoterically the king is fire and cups of water, and fire and water just don't mix. This is a person who has the qualities of a Venus or a weak Jupiter, kind of friendly in a passive sort of a way, but really they're so superficial that it's hard to reach their depth. In a way, it's as if their name is written in water. It's someone who I think has got commitment issues. Someone who's very kind of unreasonably attracted to excitement, to people. Someone who has an unsustainable enthusiasm for particular projects. They're sensitive, I think, but deep down they are very shallow. You, however, are going to have a great capacity for giving and reaching higher emotional planes, I think. But this mixture of fire and water together, this can play out in a background of the person which, when you look at it, is really a record of disastrous relationships, problems with work and career. It's as if there are mental civil wars going on within the person, which can make them very volatile, notwithstanding that they're usually passive. They can blurt things out. That hurts you. And they can also get involved in substance abuse or drinking too much, which itself leads to a whole bunch of problems if they're having dealings with you. Now, I will say this, though, and please, the lesbian and gay audience, just make the necessary adjustment. This is a person who is absolutely besotted with the opposite sex, and the opposite sex can't resist them. The person is, however, intensely insecure and needs constant reassurance, and they can be very unfaithful, fickle, highly emotional, and at the end of the day, just unreliable. Now, how you respond to things, of course, depends on you. response is out of freedom. It isn't dependent on that other person. Now, the other person may hurt you or insult you, but you don't become angry. On the contrary, you think about, why are they insulting me? And then, if it's for a good reason, well, there's no need to get angry. But most of the time, they're going to be wrong. And if they are wrong, then for their wrong, why should you burn your heart with anger? See, very often this person as well will promise and keep promising. And this promise is really made for your security, but the goods probably will never be delivered. That's another thing. But the promise, and the promise keeps people exploited, oppressed. It is the promise that keeps people in bondage. Yes, promises are very often put forward by these people. They're always promising. The promises are not worth the paper they are written on, and they are never written down. Are they? Don't take promises. Now here we have the Four of Cups. Gee, here's the moon again. What an interesting month for you. The moon in the third decan of Cancer, which is the 12th to the 22nd of July. But this is good, because the moon is the ruler of Cancer. What's going on in this picture here? Well, there's a mermaid sitting on that looks like a cicada. And given its colour, I suppose it's fully grown. Now, why is she weeping? Because, again, the moon, phases of the moon's emotions can change. There's nothing wrong with having changing emotions. But see what's going on here? This child, throwing this yellow thing in the air, is sitting on the back of a dragon. So there's lots of joy here. Here is a woman standing up on a table or a chair, afraid of a mouse or a spider. This relates to those really deep fears that are buried in the DNA of all of us. This is Eros, the god of erotic love, blindfolded. As drunken figure here would, I suppose, be the sun Silenus, the son of Pan. And here is a fellow, interestingly, who looks like he's dying and climbing through the desert towards a mirage. But what this is promising for you is not a mirage, but greater love, tenderness, care, and emotional riches. Now, as I say, the moon is associated here in Cancer with the principle of flux and change, and your emotional states just may shift like the phases of the moon. And if that's the case, don't be afraid. Don't just settle for what you have. There is a feeling here where you maybe just want to, well, you're not necessary to where you don't feel it's necessary to take action. Just getting a little smidge of something here that says that it's possible. Maybe is there some boredom or dissatisfaction in your life? Maybe you've become too familiar with your environment. Look at your motivations. Maybe you need to set some new goals. Are you on a spree of retail therapy to make up for an inner unhappiness? Are you seeking temporary pleasure to subdue any feelings of discontent which need to be brought to the surface? But nevertheless, this is telling you to realize what you do have and to appreciate it, because as you well know, there's a lot of other people that are much worse off than you are. Now, there's also this coming through, and there's two people here. Well, you need two people to have a relationship, don't you? Relationships are living things that require care and nutrients to grow well. The care is the love and the intention that you invest into the relationship. The nutrients are the things you actually do, the quality time you spend together, the ways you support each other, the words of encouragement, and the words you use to tend the relationship. Be the person, the gardener, who does the pruning, pulls out the weeds, pours in the nutrients, and waters them. You see, now I'm not saying that love conquers all, because I just don't believe that it does at all. You can sometimes still love somebody, you see, but not be able to have a relationship with them. But this is very much about relationship here with the moon in Cancer, because Cancer's a very nurturing sign. And I guess that if you asked most people whether they believed in love or not, they'd probably say that they didn't. Yet, that's not necessarily what they truly think. It's just the way they defend themselves against what they want. They believe in it, but pretend they don't until they're allowed to. Most people, I think, would throw away all of their cynicism if they could. You know what the sad reality is? The majority of people, I think, just don't get the chance. But the point is, and sometimes, maybe just here and there during the month, you might find that, probably because of this person, that you're in a difficult situation, but you know that whenever you are in a difficult situation where there seems to be no way out, well, then you'll think about all of the times you've been in such situations and say to yourself, I did it before, so I can do it again. I am successful. You just can't let life happen to you. You have to make it happen. And as you know more than anybody, success comes from the inside out. In order to change what is on the outside, you must first change what is on the inside. Never underestimate the power that you always have to take your life in a new direction. And it brings with you success. And here is this success that I've just spoken of. Look at this. Now, let's have a look at the picture of paint. Look at these strong roots which are being put down here by this tree, which, now, people might think that this is the tree of life from the Kabbalah. It's not. And these are people who are members of that family, I suppose, and this huge, strong, wealthy building behind it. And you will appreciate this. This is Mercury, ruling the third decan of Virgo, the 13th to 22nd of December. Now, as you well know, Mercury rules your sign, and it's also exalted, so you'll have great communication skills as a result of Mercury, and great organizational ability just by being you, by being Virgo. So there is success and abundance with this card, inner and outer richness, and the ability to make the inner wealth visible and share it to other people. I'm very much having the sense of richness, abundance, prosperity, maybe a small inheritance, maybe a lottery win, supportive and quite closely knit family. Good for people in a family business here. You know, of course, that you have attracted to you everybody who is a part of your life, and you have attracted and created every situation in your life, and you create your own reality. The wealth is in your hands to do with what you like. The responsibility is yours, and you are endlessly wealthy. Do you know about your inner wealth? Do you share it generously? On a piece of paper, write down all of the qualities which constitute your inner riches and say to yourself, I am internally and externally rich and free, and enjoy everything thankfully and in surrender. Now, I'm aware that there are some people who watch my channel who have a disability, and many of us, of course, deal closely with people who have disabilities. And this is coming up for these people. Part of the problem with the word disabilities is that it immediately suggests an inability to see or to hear or to walk or to do other things that many of us take for granted. But what of people who can't feel or talk about their feelings or manage their feelings in a constructive way? What of people who aren't able to form close and strong relationships? And people who cannot find fulfillment in their lives? Or those who have lost hope, who live in disappointment and bitterness and find in life no joy, no love? These, it seems to me, are the real disabilities. Your disability doesn't make you less. It shows that you are more. What a great set of cards, made all the better for you being here. Good. Well, I really enjoyed that art, and I hope that you enjoyed well, I'm sure that you would have enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. Now, unless I see you privately, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. Now, until then though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.